Hi everyone. Welcome back to my channel. How are you guys are doing today? I hope you guys are doing good. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from. So my lovely people, I have come again with another video. The drama between Senator GODSWILL Akpabio and Senator Natasha is still going on. But God's will Akpabio, Nigerian Senator, President, denies harassment claims. It seems like Senate dismisses Natasha'S sexual harassment petition. I know that it's not going to be easy for her because she's on her own. All these big men, they would not like GODSWILL Akpabio to be disgraced. And you know, remember that he is a Senate president. So I pity Senate Natasha. I pity her. So for me, I believe that they are trying to shut her up. A lot of women feel so ashamed to come out and speak up when it comes to this kind of matter. This happened to my junior sister. That's why I believe Senator Natasha. And when a woman come out to speak up, they will try so hard to cover everything up. They will believe that you want to try to destroy people's home or you want to try to tarnish somebody's image. But this do happen a lot in Nigeria. So anyway, let me put the video for you guys to watch. The wife of GODSWILL Akpabio came out and defend the husband. I mean, we can't blame her. We can't blame her. She tried to protect the husband.
I'd like to hear the opinion of Senator Natasha regarding the rules.
Thank you very much, Senate President. Again, I'm Senator Natasha, to representative to the precious people of Kogi Central. I beg to differ that this matter is sub judice. And I stand on privilege 10, order 10.
No, sorry.
Yes, Senate President, please, with due respect, do you mind I have raised an order 10 privileges, sir, please? It's my right, Senate President. Order 10 on privileges, please. I believe, and please, would you?
I'm hearing you.
Any senator may rise at any time to speak upon a matter of privilege suddenly arising, and he or she shall be prepared to move without notice a motion declaring that the contempt or breach of privilege has been committed. I stand and I believe herefore, sir, that your denial, your refusal to accept and treat my petition before the Senate Committee on Ethics and Privileges and Abuse of my privileges, and I say forth that this matter is not sub judice, it is not before the court. The matter before the court is on the defamation and cyberbullying statements made by your special assistant on new media, Mr. Patrick Umfom, who addressed my decent outfits as transparent, thereby depicting that I walk sedulously and naked to the chambers. That is the nature of the petition of the case in court. This petition, sir, has never been filed. The petition that alleges, or should I say, accuses you of making sexual harassment moves, abusing your office, and making malicious obstructions to my legislative functions has not been tendered anywhere before, no court in Nigeria. So, sir, I would appreciate if you kindly accept my petition and forward same to the Ethics and Privileges Committee so it could be treated. Thank you, sir.
Yes, first let's finish with Senator Banguru. The Chief Whip of the Senate. Your point of order is sustained. Yes, distinguished Senator.
Mr. President, this Senate, Section 40, subsection 4, of which also says, no senator shall personally sign a petition to be laid before this Senate. It's not about committee on ethics. It's not about waiting for the committee to take a decision. It's about whether this matter is right to be referred to the committee. Mr. Senate President, you were being emotional because you didn't want to be seen as trying to stop this allegation. That was why you even allowed it to be referred. The Senate erred by referring it to the court. Is not competent to stand before the Senate. That is the issue. It was signed by the most distinguished Senator Natasha Akpabio'S, for whom I have a lot of respect. We cannot rewrite our rules because of anyone, and we'll be setting a dangerous precedent. Number 3, other than constitution and the rules, the Senate is guided by customs and conventions, parliamentary customs and conventions. In all of these, Mr. President, this petition cannot stand for 2 reasons. 1, the issues and allegations of sexual harassment are already issued before the court. And 2, because it is defective. The petition is defective and it's in violation of Order 40, subsection 4 of our rules. And in view of this, Mr. President, I just want to say that there is no way we can accept this petition. And having said this, Mr. President, may I then most respectfully, since we have said we should go to the next order of the day, may I then respectfully urge our colleagues that we proceed to an executive session.
The Senate leaders' observations are noted. You've not moved a formal motion to that. But sorry, before you go there, I don't want to appear to have shut out any senator.
Yes, sir.
Senator Cyril Fassi.
Yes, sir. I am coming under Order 42. I am coming under Order 42 by the indulgence of the Senate and the leave of the President of the Senate. A senator may make a personal explanation, although there be no question before the Senate, but no controversial matter may be brought forward, nor may debate arise upon the explanation. Mr. Senate President, before I say what I want to say, I want to refer you to Psalm 34, line 19, which reads thus: many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him from them all. The righteous person faces many troubles, but the Lord comes to his rescue each time. Mr. President, I want to bring up a case that happened when when my former governor was the Minister of Federal Republic. Mr. President, I want to say this because my former governor is also going to bring a petition on the allegation that
Senator Natasha alleged when he was a minister that Ajaokuta steel mill.
Your mic.
Yes, mic. If this is what is happening about character, then we have to expose the character of a petitioner. Mr. President, I am coming officially with a petition from my former governor on the allegation that he sold Ajaokuta steel mill when he was a minister. And Senator Natasha was the one that alleged as at that time. And as at today, Mr. President, Ajaokuta steel mill it still belongs to the federal government of Nigeria. I have just said this as a notice, sir. Thank you very much.
Well, point of order is noted. Let me
Order 10, please. Order 10 again.
Senate leader. Senate leader.
10, please. Order, please.
Senate
Dear
leader.
Senate President, I feel I'm being judged. I say this. Never did I accuse Fire-Me of sexually assaulting me. I never found myself critical here.
Executive session.
Can anybody
I say executive
Respect.
session. Move it now.
Of the Senate President, Unoma Akpabio, has accused Senator Natasha-Akpabio of maligning her husband following sexual allegations made by the senator representing Kogi Central. Senator Akpabio, a member of the opposition People's Democratic Party, during an interview on the Arise Morning Show, accused the Senate President of making inappropriate advances at her. But reacting to the interview, Mrs. Akpabio accused the senator of lying and creating content for personal gains. She described her husband as a disciplined and jovial person who is often misinterpreted.
Unfortunate accusation, I'll rather call it unfortunate, is very demeaning because that is a family. We knew the husband before the husband married her. We've always known the man. They were very good friends, or they are still very good friends. So I really don't understand where this is coming from. And I believe that for somebody to go and make such an allegation, there must be a discussion at home. There must have been a sanction or an approval. Oh, you're going to say this, go ahead and say it. And if the approval has come from the husband, our friend, I believe that he would have spoken to me because we are close. And then if the wife had complained about such a thing and he still comes and is normal, there is no man you will tell, that the wife will tell, your friend harassed me. I know how you men behave, that will not frown. First of all, the attitude towards the person will change. But this attitude never changed. And if you are talking about the house, we don't have any house in Ikot-Ekpene. Ikot-Ekpene is a local government. We are from a Senudim local government. Our country home is in a Senudim, in Okana. And I didn't hear anything about Okana. We have a beautiful home in Okana. If you're talking about Uyo, house in Uyo, I'm always there. I own a school. I'm always in my school. And when I finish at the school, I go home. So the home you are talking about, I'm always there. The Senate President is a very, very responsible man and disciplined. As a governor, the number of women we had then in government, I don't think any government has had that number of women. So in Akwa Ibom, when he was a governor, a lot of women were involved in governance. And none of them, not one, ever said something like this. In the past, we've allowed people to get away with a lot of things. And he will always tell me, if you can't stand the heat, leave the kitchen. I'm here to serve my people. They will throw mud at me. I said, but this mud is becoming too much. Why can't you do something? So I'm now the one going for a legal address.
Is it to you alone, or this is a particular trend?
Yeah, that's what I'm about to explain that.
Yes.
Yes, so many people do not know what I'm about to say, but I'm going to speak my own truth. And the Senate President is allowed to counter that. It all started on the 8th of December, 2023, which was a day before his birthday and my birthday. We are birthday mates. We were all in Akpabio'S because he had a big fanfare in the stadium. Myself, my husband, and a few of his close friends, we went to Akpabio'S. And at first, we were at Ikot Ekpene. We were in his house in Ikot Ekpene. Then we all moved to his house in Uyo, which was about 8 p.m. And he held my hand and said he wanted to show me around his house. My husband was walking behind us. Just 3 of us were walking around from room to room. He showed me the beautiful interior. This was done by this, by that, this designer here, he bought this from us. Like, oh, it's beautiful. And then I noticed that he hastened his pace while still holding my hand. And my husband was behind, still on his phone, but he was catching up whenever he could. And then he got to this particular sitting room, and he said, do you like my house? I said, of course, sir. Every room, beautiful, nice interior, quality taste. He said, now that you're a senator, I'm going to create a time for us to come spend quality moments here. You will enjoy it. At that point, I just pulled away and I was like, I don't really understand what exactly that meant. But then my husband now, when I turned around, I saw my husband was already near me. And the way my husband looked at me and looked at him, I was beginning to wonder, did he hear part of that inciting statements or not? And then the Senate President, too, I saw that he also had that thought, like, did my husband hear the invitation to treat or not? So then the Senate President now said, oh, by the way, let me show you my chapel. He has a chapel in his house as well. So while we were going to the chapel, you know, we walked in silence and all. So that evening, before we left the Senate President's house at about 11 midnight to the 4 points in Ikot Ekpene. And my husband asked me, Natasha, what did the Senate President whisper to you? What was he telling you? I thought, should I tell him that he was speaking about bringing me in here at a special time for us to have a good time? Or should I just kill it there, wrap it as if there was nothing? Because tomorrow was a big day. I know how much my husband adores the Senate President. He loves him as a brother. My husband would do anything to support him. So I told my husband, nothing. I can't remember what I created, but I just gave him some words to manage, to mask what was said. When we laid in bed, I lay to my right, and my husband wrapped his arms around me, and he said, my love, you know you can't tell me anything. What did the Senate President tell you? Again, I was like, don't you believe me? I said, nothing. Nothing. Moreover, it's my birthday in a few minutes. Let's just be happy. Then my husband told me he doesn't want to see me travel out of the country alone, and I should not go to the Senate President's house because he has a guest house where many senators do go there, you know, after office to like get approvals and all that. So I told him, okay, no problems. That was it. I thought that was going to be the end. But then, in February, I wanted to move a motion. I wanted to move a motion for the investigation on the ills of corrupt practice in Ajakuta Steel Company. I listed that motion 5 times. It was the 6th time that it was listed on the order paper that was approved. Many senators can testify to that. Each time the motion is listed, just before he takes it, he will say, oh, Senator Natasha, we can't take this motion because the board of the Senate does not accommodate it. Or he will speak on others and then let it drag so that just before my motion is taken, the time will be well spent. I won't. So he kept on doing that. I went to him in his office. And I said, Senate President, you know how important this GODSWILL company to me is. You know how important it is to my people and to Nigerians. I've noticed that you have stepped down this motion. As a matter of fact, a number of senators told me, go and see him and plead with him so that he would take it. I was like, sir, please, why can't you take this motion? It's very important. It's been listed. Then it was listed the third time and stepped down. He then said, Natasha, I'm the chief presiding officer of the Senate. You can enjoy a whole lot if you take care of me and make me happy. At that point, I said, sir, I'll pretend that I didn't hear this. He said, well, the ball is in your court. I left his office, and when I got home, I told my husband, I didn't tell my husband what happened. I just told my husband, please, can you speak to the Senate President to allow my motion scale through? I think I also spoke to the DSP, to the leader, Senator Pemi. I spoke to a number of senators that they should please intervene and allow him to laugh. I never told them what happened. My husband had to take a trip to London. Then the Senate President traveled to London. My husband met with the Senate President in London and pleaded with him, let my wife take this motion on Ajakuta. That is very important to her.
Okay. All right, Senator Natasha.
Said, okay, that he did not take it because he was protecting me. Hold on, please. He didn't take it because he was protecting me. Protecting me from what? Anyway, at the time the motion was taken, it was the Deputy Senate President, His Excellency Barao, that actually sat. The Senate President stood up and walked out. So it was Senator Barao that actually took it.
All right, Senator Natasha.
And from there, many other incidents happened.
Yes, Senator
let's
Natasha.
Talk about the nightclub.
Yes.
Hold on, let's talk about how the nightclub incident.
Professor Kila is going to ask you a question. I'm so sorry to have to interject here, but I just want to mention that, and I'm glad you gave the caveat at the beginning of your statement, that this is your side of the story, and the Senate President has the right to defend himself or to counter what happened between you privately. So what I assume, or for what you're saying, is that what happened last week Thursday began from a private conversation, and then you have felt like you've been maligned as a result of you not agreeing to certain propositions, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
what has happened? You know the story of when a student keeps being failed.
Yes.
Please, let me say this, Ayo. You know the situation we see in universities whereby a student is continuously being failed just because she has not slept with the lecturer. That's what I've been facing, in simple terms.
Thank you. Professor Kila.
That is what I have been going through.
Thank you very much,
and
Professor Kila.
Now, moving to, should I speak?